Welcome back to ACTV. Today we are going to be making a cupcake pull-apart cake. These are very popular right now. It's like having a cake, but they're cupcakes, so everybody can grab them on their own, and it's kind of cool to see them all being pulled apart when it's time to serve. So we are going with a number 2 today because our bakery is turning 2 in just a few weeks. So that's kind of in the air right now. And we were testing out different colors of cupcakes and flavors. So I have a lot of leftover cupcakes that I want to make use of. We are gonna go with a teal, purple, and pink color palette with a little bit of gold. All of our sprinkles are ready to go. The buttercream is ready to go. I'm going to be using a 1M tip. That's gonna be the base of all the piping here as I connect the cupcakes, and then I'm gonna fill in with different piping tips. I'm gonna start first by getting my macarons ready. I've got orange and yellow macs that don't really match anything, so we are going to shake them in some gold luster dust and use them on here to go with the color palette. So this gets kind of messy when you're trying to dust macarons just because the dust goes flying everywhere. So I would get some gloves and kind of keep it separate of whatever it is that you're gonna be putting them on. So I just put luster dust in here in a Ziploc bag. I reuse this many times because you can literally have little remnants of the gold dust and it'll totally make your mac gold. So I just shake it up a little bit. And I get these paper towels ready. I don't really want to put it on anything I'm gonna wash, like a plate or something like that, because the gold just kind of lingers. So I just put it on a paper towel. So I'm gonna pull it out here, shake it off a little bit, or a lot, and then put it on there. And I'm gonna do that for all of these. We can put a couple in at a time. It's kind of just a nice way to elevate whatever dessert you're working with. If you end up having some fingerprints on here from pulling them out, you can just take a little paintbrush later, dip it in the gold luster dust mixed with Everclear, and just touch up any spots. Just shake it away from whatever you have going on. So like I said, the 1M is what we are going to use on every cupcake, and I'm really just gonna pipe a rosette onto each cupcake, and then I'm gonna go back and connect them because there's gaps here in between the cupcakes, but it's not a problem, we'll fill it in later. So just starting here, and I'm really trying to cover the entire cupcake because it's going to have to connect. So if we were just serving a cupcake and decorating one for a wedding, I really wouldn't take up the entire cupcake. That way you could see a little bit of the cupcake, but because they have to be touching and the whole design has to be connected, I wanna get as much buttercream on here as I possibly can. So I'm going all the way around. And you don't have to use a rosette tip or a 1M. I personally like to use this though because a little bit of buttercream goes a long way as opposed to piping like a swirl of buttercream. You don't need very much to do this design, and especially for how much buttercream we have to be using for this. And you can see it's kind of already connecting there. I have a little gap here, but no problem, I'll go back and fix that. Once we go back and fill in, it'll start to look like one cohesive design and it'll look like a number 2. So I've seen a ton of pull-apart cakes. You can do shapes, letters, numbers. I would say mostly the ones that I've done, pretty much letters and numbers. 2 obviously is for our 2nd anniversary here, but birthdays, graduations, if you wanna do a letter. These are kind of big. Obviously I have a lot going on here, and this is on a huge sheet board. So you don't have to do as many cupcakes as I did if you wanted to fit 2 numbers on here. But I like that it really is taking up the board. It's a lot of cupcakes. It'll serve, 25 or 26. All the rosettes are done. Now it's time to fill in. And I'm actually gonna push these cupcakes a little bit closer together. And now we'll start adding in some more piping. So there's some spots here you can see. There's gaps, and I'm gonna fill all of those spots in. And there's no like specific way to do this. It's kind of just piping at your leisure and however creative you want to be with it. I just want to make sure everything gets kind of tied together and it looks like one design. I like to use various piping tips. I like to do different things with them. Obviously, as you just saw with this star tip, I did a little star rosette, and then I also did just a dollop, and I love to do that. You can do various things with each tip. So for these bigger gaps here, I'm honestly going to pipe some buttercream, kind of just in the space. I'm gonna add some more blue. And I'm gonna add in a little bit of white. So all of these tools that I'm using today, you can pretty much find, I think, at a local craft store or a Walmart or even Amazon. They're just basic tools, piping tips, piping bags, a board, and then sprinkles that you would like to use. There's nothing really fancy about this, but it's gonna look like a really grand cake when we're all done. And you can pipe as much or as little as you'd like. I really want the cake to feel kind of dressed up, so I'm just gonna continue piping. Okay, I might go back and add piping in a little bit, but I'm gonna start sprinkling and adding macarons. I've got these larger teal sixlets here. I'm gonna add those on. Again, really no rhyme or reason here, it's just sprinkles, so have as much fun as you'd like. I think these are most popular for like kids celebrations, you know. You don't have to slice up cake and pass it out to kids. They can just kind of go and pull as they'd like. Got a little bit of a darker teal sugar here. I'm not gonna go overboard with this. And now I have this sprinkle mix that has pretty much all of the colors I'm using in it. And this was what I based the design around, was this sprinkle mix here. So this has little mermaid fins in it. So I guess it's gonna be Under the Sea Mermaid Abbie Cakes 2-year anniversary pull apart cake. Make sure when you decide to do this, if you're gonna do one this big, that you have enough space in your fridge, because this is a huge board. Oh, I've got these nice pink sixlets that I wanna throw in. Everything looks kind of muted here, except for those dark teal sprinkles, and now these hot pink sixlets, which I really like. Kind of break up the design a little bit, add a pop. Once we add the gold, it's gonna look sharp. Let's add some of these gold macs. Some will be laying down, some will be sideways. Okay, and now I think we just need some gold sprinkles to tie it together. Okay, so I'm gonna add gold pearls on here. Now it's all gonna go. These gold pearls that I have here were actually probably a white or a teal color. And I did the same thing that I did with the macarons, where I actually poured the luster dust in here and then I shook it up. Sometimes gold sprinkles that you buy just don't have that like shocking gold factor, so we have to make it shocking gold with the luster dust. And sometimes they're that yellow gold too that works for some designs, but not for all. And I've got some smaller gold sprinkles we'll add in. Last thing we need is glitter. Edible glitter, lots of it. I think that's it. I think we're all set. So it looks super cute. It's a No. 2 Pull Apart Cupcake cake. We went with a Under the Sea theme here. There's little mermaid fins in the sprinkles. Very easy to do. You don't need many tools to do this. You can literally take whatever you have on hand. Like, the options are endless and it doesn't have to be overly complicated. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you get to make a pull apart cupcake cake, let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.